Kyoto cuisine has been nurtured based on the spirit of hospitality and high sense of beauty, while respecting nature and accepting it for what it is. In this program, this traditional food culture that has been handed down by Kyoto chefs is introduced, along with its fine cooking techniques. Kyoto cuisine and the four seasons. Spring. When the cherry blossoms are in full bloom, people gather under them and hold cherry blossom viewing parties. And these parties won't be complete without the Hanami-ju. These lunch boxes have been made since long ago for outdoor eating and are packed with ingredients that you can enjoy while drinking. A four-tiered box is filled with delectable seasonal ingredients like Japanese Spanish mackerel, which in Japanese is written as the fish of spring, or red snapper sushi infused with the scent of cherry blossom leaves, not only pleasing to the eye, but also says spring is here. When the cherry blossoms bloom, rice planting begins. In the old days, people believed that the cherry blossoms blooming signified that the god of agriculture had come down from the mountains.
昔の日本人にとって桜は豊作を約束してくれる神が現れた姿なんです。その神様と一緒にですね、飲食を共にして喜んでいただくために昔の農民たちは飲食を楽しみました。そしてそれが本来のお花見の形に残っているということです。
And now the cherry blossoms have withered and summer has arrived. It is a season of the Gion Festival, which is said to have originated from Goryo-e, a ritual that was carried out to overcome the then ongoing epidemic in Kyoto. During this period, people enjoy sabazushi, or mackerel sushi, a festive snack called chigo mochi, among other delicacies. Summer is also the season when people enjoy eating pike conger, a kind of eel. They are said to become tastier as they drink the rainwater of the rainy season and hold great cultural significance as a symbol of summer. However, they are full of small bones and are difficult to eat. Thus evolved the bone-cutting technique known as honekiri. Using a special hamo knife, the chef applies just the right amount of pressure to cut the bone while leaving the skin intact. The chef's honekiri technique is paramount to the outcome of the dish. A seasonal event that marks the end of summer is called Obon, which is when ancestral spirits return home. In front of the house, a welcoming fire is lit to welcome them home.
O盆を過ぎると山のものも海のものも端境期に入ります。この時期の料理として夏の名残の食材と秋の走りの食材を8寸として同じ器で盛り込むことがよくあります。
New lotus root, a vestige of summer, is shaped like a flower and stuffed with mustard and egg yolk to create ikomi hanadenkon. Sweet potato is carved out in the shape of an autumn chestnut to make kuri maruju. Summer meets autumn on this single dish to help us transition to the next season. Next comes autumn, the season of harvest. Farming, especially rice farming, is the foundation of the Japanese food culture.
日本人にとって米は食事の象徴であり、白いご飯こそ和食の基本です。
Formerly in Japan, food was usually served on a small tray to each person in households. The tray includes rice, soup, and at most 3 side dishes. Add a dish of pickled vegetables, and the tray would become quite crowded. In order to differentiate from cuisines for guests, home cooking has come to be referred to as Ichiju Sansai, meaning 1 soup, 3 dishes. For the Chrysanthemum Festival tradition, sake with petals of chrysanthemum is consumed to wish for longevity. Chrysanthemum is considered to be a spiritual plant in Japan. The Japanese, who have always cherished rice, even keep the outer layer that gets removed during milling and use it for cooking. It is called nuka and can be used to make nukazuke pickles. In Japanese cuisine, nothing is wasted. Everything is used to its fullest to showcase its character. Among such Kyoto cuisine and culture, the most important seasonal event is the New Year. The Japanese believe that the deity of luck, Toshigami, brings them happiness and that the body and soul are reborn, and so they eagerly welcome the New Year. In order to ring in the New Year, chefs make every effort to prepare traditional New Year's dishes, osechi.
おせちとは1年の幸せを象徴する多様な料理を重箱に詰めて、災いを打ち払い、幸福を招き寄せる祈りを捧げられた料理です。
Precious memories are woven into food for osechi. Black beans, kuromame, which phonetically means a healthy and industrious life, symbolizes a deep tan from being outside. Herring roe, Kazunoko, literally means a multitude of eggs, evoking hope for future generations to prosper. Sea bream is often broiled whole and called glaring sea bream for the New Year in Kyoto. The fish is not eaten for 3 days, just looked at, hence the name glaring sea bream. It is finally eaten after 3 days. It is an unusual custom, but culinary wisdom says that the meat of the sea bream tastes best after 3 days. Celebratory chopsticks, iwaibashi, are used with New Year's dishes. The Japanese spirit is carved into both ends of the tapered chopsticks. The reason why both ends are tapered is that it is meant to be used together with the gods. A paper cord, mizuhiki, symbolizing a seal, is used to secure the chopsticks. The cord signifies that it is unused and brand new. Dashi, and the 5 basic methods of cooking, the techniques that bring out the flavor of the ingredients. Dashi or broth is another extremely important factor in all Japanese cuisine. They're mainly extracted from kombu seaweed and dried bonito flakes. Kombu is a vegetative ingredient and widely confirmed that its umami gets fully extracted by simmering it for 1 hour at 60 degrees Celsius. And then there is katsuobushi, which is an animal dashi ingredient. Different types of katsuobushi naturally change the properties of the dashi. Arabushi has a strong bonito aroma. Using this gives the dashi a refreshing umami. Meanwhile, karebushi gives the dashi a stronger umami and more transparency. The color and taste of the dashi also change according to how the katsuobushi is shaved. Kombu's umami comes from glutamic acid. Katsubushi's umami comes from inosinic acid. Blending the two creates a synergy of umami. Shojin cuisine, which is a meal for monks who follow Buddhist precepts, does not use animal dashi, so beans and dried shiitake mushrooms are used to enhance the flavor of the soup stock. Along with such soup stock, there are the 5 basic methods of cooking. One of them is grilling, the most simple and oldest cooking method in which ingredients are heated directly. The first and foremost key is the heat level and is a delicate process.
焼くことで食材の水分が適度に抜けます。そして食材の癖もちょうど抜けますし、また炭火を使うことによって食材に煙ですね、その食材の油から出た煙がまとわってですね、燻香がつくという科学的な言葉で言うとそのメイラード反応と同じような効果が出てくるということでございます。シンプルだからこそやっぱり難しいと思います。
The next technique, cutting, holds great importance in Japanese cuisine, as raw foods such as sashimi are so prominent. And for this, there are many kinds of traditional Japanese knives, each with a special use. For example, the deba knife, with its pointed tip and thick blade, is especially made for breaking down fish and cutting bones and joints. The sashimi knife, used to thinly slice seafood, is marked by its long, slender blade. Everyday dishes alone call for a dozen cutting techniques. Add in decorative cuts that illustrate seasonality and elegance, and the list is endless.
日本古来から伝わる和包丁で切るということは食べやすくする目的のほかに料理に芸術性を持たせることにもつながります。
The beauty of snow white cloth can be recreated by the katsuramuki technique. The alluring jabagiri allows for an ingredient to soak up flavors. Visual appeal is so essential that they say Japanese cuisine is eaten with one's eyes. In deep frying, the ingredient is cooked in a large amount of high-temperature oil. Quickly cooking a batter-covered ingredient allows for it to retain its umami. The contrast in texture between the crispy batter and the soft ingredient is a true joy.
「下味や衣に変化をつけることで多彩なバリエーションが考えられるのも揚げ物の魅力です。
The steaming process provides indirect warmth, ensuring that flavor and nutrients are retained, resulting in a mellow, gentle steamed dish. Tile fish are steamed, topped with a light sauce, and transformed into steamed tile fish and millet. Millet itself is textured, but when steamed, it becomes sticky like mochi. And the fifth, simmering is a cooking method in which ingredients are heated together with dashi and seasonings. This is duck broth. Turnip is sliced paper thin to cover the broth, reminiscent of thin ice. Infused in the broth is a mugwort rice cake, kusamochi, while turnips and carrots add color to the steamed dish, signaling that spring is not far away. It is elegant and refined as this bowl, and rather than the obvious, the expression is subtle and ethereal. This is what defines Japanese beauty and the essence of Kyoto cuisine. But where did it all originate from? The traditional culture that influenced Kyoto cuisine. In Japan, mystic beauty is sometimes described using the word yugen. Yu means phantom and gen means profound and vast. Over the years, it has come to mean elegant beauty. This word was first used in Noh classical theater that was played during the 14th through 15th centuries.
幽玄という日本の美の特徴は日本料理の表現において、造形や色形を美しいだけではなく象徴的にもしくは隠喩的に表現をするところにつながっています。
There are other traditional cultures that influence the Kyoto cuisine. Japanese cuisine esteems visual appeal, hence the saying, "It's eaten with one's eyes." This belief is rooted in the decorative nature of the Rimpa school of art, founded by Ogata Korin. Rimpa works are defined by refined, delicate, yet colorful depictions of kacho fugetsu, or beauties of nature. This grilled ayu, made to look like a swimming fish, is a perfect representation of the Rimpa school ornamentation that outshines realism. And in Japanese tea ceremonies, people enjoy flowers, hanging scrolls, among other things, that have been prepared to suit the seasons in a minimalist space where the senses are honed. The words Wabi and Sabi came from this philosophy. Wabi comes from the word wabi-shi-i, which refers to the sense of melancholy, reclusiveness. And Sabi comes from the word rust, referring to beauty that withers or the sense of satisfaction found within loneliness. The Japanese aesthetic sense of Wabi and Sabi is often expressed in the hasun dish. It's a small dish enjoyed by the guest and host together with sake, a dish each using ingredients from the sea and the mountain is served. Kyoto Cuisine, which has developed through the interaction of traditional culture and the four seasons, reflects not only the aesthetic sense of the Japanese people, but also their spirituality.